Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. Today, I'm going to be talking about why the Washington Redskins might need to trade Jonathan Allen or Daron Payne in the 2021 offseason or in the 2022 offseason. If you guys are new, subscribe for Redskins and NFL content. So, let's get right into the video. And I know this topic might be a little controversial, and by no means am I saying the Washington Redskins should trade Jonathan Allen or Daron Payne. But today in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys the reasons why they might end up having to. So let's get into the video. As you guys all know, the Redskins have a absolutely stacked D-line. They have Chase Young, Montez Sweat on the outside, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, and Matt Ioannidis all on the inside. And those are all either really good players or players that have very high potential to be very good players. So those guys they're gonna need a lot of money. They're gonna be asking for a lot of money in the near future. For Chase Young and Montez Sweat, that is still gonna be a while. But for Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen, those um, those deadlines are going to come soon. Jonathan Allen still has one more year under his rookie contract before his fifth year option hits, which the Redskins already picked up. And Daron Payne has 3 more years if they pick up his fifth year option. But if you guys know, DeForest Buckner this offseason got traded to the Colts after his fourth year with the 49ers because of the same reason. The 49ers had a completely stacked defensive line and they didn't have enough money to pay DeForest Buckner, so they were forced to trade him, and they ended up getting a first round pick. The situation with the Redskins is a little bit different because we do have a lot of money, but we're gonna end up having to pay. But we haven't paid our quarterback yet, obviously, so we're gonna have to pay Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne in the next couple of years, and then work our way to Matt Ioannidis, who expires the same year as Daron Payne, I believe, and then Montez Sweat, and then players in the offense like Terry McLaurin, uh, his deal expires the same year as Daron Payne. So it's going to slowly start, and we do have a lot of money, but we're going to have to be cautious, not pay our D line our whole D line a lot of money if we can't afford it. For our offense too. But let's go and talk about Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne before we talk about what could actually happen. So Jonathan Allen had a decent year last year, had a little bit of a down year compared to his 2018 year, but still had a really good year. I think if he would have played the full 16 games, I think he would have had 8, 9 sacks. Yes, he played 15 games, but the first game of the season against Philadelphia, he got out I think before halftime, and then when he came back for week 3 and week 4, he was a little hurt, so he wasn't playing. He wasn't fully playing, so he probably would have gotten 8 or 9 sacks, and still played really good. 68 total tackles, 7 tackles for a loss, 10 QB hits, and 6 sacks, and a fumble recovery and a pass deflection. So he still played really good, and I don't know. I think so far he's definitely been better than Daron Payne, but that could definitely change. But his contract, he has his fourth year. This is going to be his fourth year with the Redskins this year in 2020. And then after that, he's on his final year. So kind of the exact same situation as the 49ers because the 49ers are going to be, or the 49ers traded DeForest Buckner to the Colts the year, the after DeForest Buckner's fourth year. So it could happen with the Redskins. And same thing with the Redskins. The 49ers drafted a defensive end with the second overall pick, so it could end up happening. Now let's look at Daron Payne. So Daron Payne had a little bit of a down year as well. Played in 15 games, didn't play as much as he did in his rookie year. Had about 2 pass deflections, 2 sacks, 56 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, but did was a really good run stopper, and his numbers, he he missed a lot of sack opportunities last year. He had his hands around the quarterback a few times last year, and he just couldn't get him down. So I think this year he's going to have a lot bigger year than last year, I hope. But I think Jonathan Allen is probably most likely going to get traded out of these two just because his contract is coming up sooner. But if it's in the long term, like 2022 offseason, it could be Daron Payne. And if you guys want to compare Jonathan Allen to DeForest Buckner, here are DeForest Buckner's stats. Last year had 7.5 sacks. In 2018 had about 12 sacks. So his career has been pretty similar to Jonathan Allen's in his first 3 years. He had about 21 sacks in his first 3 years. Jonathan Allen didn't have as much, had 15, but that's because he missed almost all of his rookie season with an injury. But they're very similar, and we're in a very similar situation to the 49ers. So now I'm going to go on to the reasons why we might need to trade him. Stuff that I didn't already point out. But like I said, if we want to be able to pay our whole D-line and our offense, we might have to trade one of these guys, Daron Payne or Jonathan Allen, if we fully want to pay everybody, including the running backs, the offensive line with Sheriff, eventually Dwayne Haskins, and Terry McLaurin, because Terry McLaurin is only a 4-year deal, so he's coming up in 2023. And then also, if the Redskins, think about it, if the Redskins trade Jonathan Allen or Daron Payne, they still have four really, really good players. You got Chase Young and Montez Sweat on the outside. Those guys are sticking around, and those guys aren't getting traded, and they're going to be on the outside. And then if you trade one of those two guys, you still have two guys in the interior that are very, very good in Matt Ioannidis and Jonathan Allen / Daron Payne. You're still going to have a really good rotation. Plus, you still have a very, very good depth guys in Tim Settle, who Tim Settle would most likely be a starter on most teams, but because our line is so stacked, he isn't able to start, and he would get a lot more playing time in if one of these guys was traded. And also, if we trade Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen, we could get, let's say, I think we could get a third to a first round pick. Really depends on how they play in the next coming years, but I think we would at least get a third for Jonathan Allen, maybe even more, a second or first, just like DeForest Buckner. I think if Allen had a breakout year this year, I think he would end up going for first. But I really see Daron Payne as a more probable candidate, just because Jonathan Allen is a perfect culture guy, and if he has a breakout year this year, I doubt they trade him. Daron Payne is more likely, but that would be more in the future than this year. It definitely wouldn't be this offseason. It would be the next offseason, 2022 or 2023. And yeah, they could get a decent pick and use that on another position that they need, either tackle, cornerback, tight end. Who knows what our positions that we need, or our weaker positions are in 2022, 2023. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, and this is way too much in the future, but seriously, who knows? DeForest Buckner got traded last year after a very good last 2 years because the 49ers knew they couldn't afford to pay him. So they traded him to the Colts for the 13th overall pick in the draft and ended up drafting Javon Kinlaw. So I still highly doubt it that it happens, because I think the Redskins want to keep their D-line, but it might be something that they have to consider if let's say Haskins ends up being a really good quarterback, Terry McLaurin keeps doing what he's doing, and all these other players, they're not going to have that much money. If you look at their cap space, they have a ton of cap space in 2021, about 86 million. You add probably like 13 million because of Alex Smith. You're around $100 million. So you're going to have to sign Sheriff and a couple other free agents. That brings you down to like probably $60 million just from the free agents that re-signed from our team. And then plus some other free agents. If you want to go after Jalen Ramsey or any of these other guys, I really don't think that the Redskins are going to be able to pay their full D-line, because Matt Ioannidis, he's on a cheaper deal, about $7 million per year. But Jonathan Allen is already in 2021, it's going to be about $10 million. But if we want to re-sign him, it's probably going to be around $12 to $13 million a year. We'll see how he ends up playing, but I think it's going to be around the same thing. And then Chase Young and Montez Sweat, who really knows? Edge rushers are crazy, crazy expensive. And if Montez Sweat and Chase Young both work out, that's probably going to be anywhere from $10 to $15 million for either or for both of them. So, and I just don't think the Redskins can afford to have like $60 million in their D line. If you add everyone up, it's just, you can't do it. And I think they're going to wait wait until these guys are on the last year of their rookie deal. But it's just not, it's not affordable to have 4 or 5 players that are getting paid around $10 million a year just on your D line when you're going to have to pay your quarterback and some other players in the future. So I know, like I said, this is going to be way long-term future, like at earliest next offseason, but I doubt that because I see Daron Payne as a more likely trade candidate, and who knows, maybe even Matt Ioannidis in 2023, but I think Jonathan Allen is going to stick around, and I think ultimately both of these guys are going to stick around. It's just going to be how are we going to be able to afford all of these guys at once, and we'll see what we end up doing with Tim Settle too. That's why I think it wouldn't be the best idea, but it wouldn't be all that bad if we ended up getting a second or first round pick. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Like I said, still doubt it happens, but it's definitely possible because we're not going to be able to afford, if they all live up to expectations, we're not going to be able to afford to pay every single one of them and pay our offense. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications, and peace. Stay safe.